Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
In the event of an emergency evacuation, please follow these guidelines. If you are seated in the lower rows of level 100, please walk down the stairs to the floor, proceed through the nearest portal, and exit the building. For the upper rows of level 100, walk up the stairs to the concourse and exit through the nearest doors. Those seated in 200, 300, or loge seating, walk downstairs to the concourse to exit through the nearest doors. Elevators will not be in service, but event staff will be available to guide and assist you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Thompson-Boling Arena in today's graduate hooding ceremony. Everyone, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices, and remember there is no smoking allowed in the arena or in the restroom areas. Now, if you are able, please stand for the academic procession. The procession begins with our spring 2024 graduates and faculty representatives. Vice Provost and Dean of the Graduate School, Dixie Thompson, and the University of Tennessee Knoxville Chancellor, Dondi Plowman, will then lead the commencement stage party that includes today's speaker, Jessica Barfield, members of the campus administration, and the college deans. Please remain standing if you are able as we begin today's ceremony with the singing of the national anthem. Please join Kurt Linetti in singing the Star-Spangled Banner. Kurt is accompanied today by members of the volunteer brass.
Please be seated. Today marks a milestone in the lives of our students. For many of this spring's graduates, this day is especially meaningful due to the missed celebrations of important moments during the COVID-19 pandemic. We are thrilled to celebrate with them today, and we hope this occasion becomes a cherished memory for all in attendance. Commencement is a formal ceremony. We request that all attendees remain respectful. We also ask that everyone remain until the ceremony officially concludes, so that every graduate can fully enjoy the event without disruption. Thank you. Today's celebration honors nearly 1,200 graduate students receiving their degrees this semester from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. The investment of time and resources to achieve this outcome is immense, and I applaud all who work to make this success possible. As Dean of the Graduate School, I welcome everyone to the special ceremony to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. This morning, we will honor graduates who have earned master's, specialist in education, and doctoral degrees. Each of these degrees requires intensive study and demonstration of knowledge and skills in an area of specialization. Your program provides more details about these degrees. The members of our graduate faculty are crucial partners in the success of our students. Our faculty not only teach classes, but they also assist our students in their research, outreach, and creative activities. And they provide invaluable mentoring and career support for our students. I would like for our faculty who are present to stand so that we can recognize you for your contributions. Faculty, please stand. Thank you, faculty. I'm pleased to have so many guests in attendance today. Thank you for coming to celebrate our graduates. More importantly, thank you for the support you have provided to our students during their academic journey. Your sacrifices and support help make it possible for our students to achieve their dreams. Graduates, let's give a round of applause to the family, friends, mentors, and encouragers who have supported you during your time as a graduate student. Today's featured speaker is Jessica K. Barfield. Jessica is receiving her PhD in Information Sciences from the College of Communication and Information. Before coming to UT, Jessica earned her undergraduate degree from Dartmouth College, where she was a Division I scholar athlete, and then earned an MS in marketing from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Jessica's research focuses on human interaction with social robots, and her work has led to awards and honors at the national and international level. Her many honors include the Eugene Garfield Doctoral Dissertation Fellowship, the College of Communication and Information Graduate Student Research Award, and the Reader Seiler Fellowship. She was invited to attend the Association for Computing Machinery's Human Information Interaction and Retrieval Doctoral Consortium and received the Association for Information Science and Technology Scholar Award in Social Informatics. Jessica has published over 10 refereed papers, 3 book chapters, has presented at more than 20 national and international conferences. Jessica is a true volunteer. She has been active contributor during her doctoral program. She was chosen as a student representative for the Knoxville Campus Advisory Board for the Office of the Chancellor. She serves on the Executive Board as Technology Officer for the Graduate Student Senate, and she is a student liaison for the Research Council of the Faculty Senate. Designing robots that can meet the needs of diverse users has been a major goal of her research. She envisions a future with smarter robots that can help make our lives better in areas such as education, healthcare, and industry services. I became acquainted with Jessica after she was chosen as a part of the SEC Emerging Scholars Program. In working with her this past year, I can say with confidence that she has all the right attributes to be a great faculty member. And I learned this morning that she's accepted a tenure-track job at the University of Kentucky. Please help me welcome Dr. Jessica Barfield.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dean Thompson. Good morning, friends, family, faculty and staff, and fellow graduates. I'm honored to have the privilege to address you today and hopefully to provide some wisdom and inspiration as we leave Rocky Top. A few months ago, right after I found out that I'd be giving this speech, I thought, what wisdom do I have to give to a room full of my peers? I asked a few of my friends who told me to make sure I made a joke or two, reference Dolly Parton and Rocky Top, and make sure to say, "Go Vols" at the end. But I really thought, what kind of advice can I really give? One day, after staring at a blank Word document, looking for inspiration and trying to write this speech with barely the title and the date typed out, I took a walk around campus and ran into Associate Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Ernest Brothers. He congratulated me for being selected as the speaker, and during our conversation, I asked him, what kind of wisdom or advice do I have to impart on my peers? He looked at me, smiled, and said, you don't have to give any advice. Instead, he suggested I talk about my journey here because we all have a story to tell. For me, getting a PhD in communication and information was not a straight path, nor the one I thought I would end up in. It was about in 4th grade, I started thinking about what I wanted to do when I grew up. Did I want to be an astronaut, a president, a superhero, a presidential superhero in space? So, 11-year-old me looked at my dad and asked, what do you do? I knew people called him doctor, but his Band-Aid application on my knee scrapes after a rough day on the playground made me really question his medical knowledge. So, he told little Jess all about his journey and how he earned his PhD. I soaked up the story, and after the way he explained it, getting a PhD seemed pretty simple. See, after high school, you just go to college, do well, go get a master's degree, do well, and then you get into a PhD program. There, you do some research, maybe write some papers, teach a class or two, and then at the end, you get to call yourself doctor. All your dreams can come true in just a few easy and straightforward steps. But for me, and probably most of you, it wasn't so easy. I finished college at the ripe age of 22 with no earthly idea of what I wanted to do with my life. So with the support and inspiration of my dad, I went home for a year, and I thought about it. I worked part-time jobs, learning about what I liked and what I didn't. I liked the flexibility of setting my own hours, but I didn't like being micromanaged. Then, I started a master's degree at the university right down the road from me while living at home, and I worked in the research lab at the business school. I thought, maybe with some more schooling, I'd get a better idea of what I wanted. I thought it would tell me what I wanted to do, and maybe even how to be a presidential superhero in space. But instead, I learned what I didn't want to do. I learned I like taking classes and seeing what goes on behind the scenes of research, but I wasn't always inspired by the research questions. But I started to like the sound of academia. I looked at the lifestyle of my dad, who's now a semi-retired academic, and loved what I saw. See, growing up, he picked me up and dropped me off at school every day. He was at every extracurricular activity and field hockey game and practice that I had. He took me with him as he traveled the world for conferences and was, and still is, extremely respected in his field. He showed me proofs and galleys that he would get sent by big publishers for his papers and books, and I even got to help pick out a few book covers growing up. The life of an academic sounded awesome. So I thought, maybe that's what I'll do. I went for another master's degree, but this time in a more specialized area. This, once again, taught me more about what I didn't want to do, but I also discovered that I liked research methodologies and teaching, but I wanted to ask my own research questions. Finally, I applied to PhD programs with the thought that honing in on a specific topic and set of research questions would help me narrow down what I wanted to do. The first year of my PhD was during 2020. I did my entire first year in my small apartment bedroom behind Westtown Mall on my tiny laptop screen from my undergrad days, spending long nights and days in Zoom class, Zoom meetings, and the occasional Zoom coffee chat or happy hour. I looked around and I thought, this isn't the glamorous life of an academic that I'd always seen, but I persisted. I found a research topic that I love and that I'm inspired by. I gathered a group of faculty who have relentlessly supported me and got involved in service in a way that I never thought I could. I learned that by enthusiastically saying yes to opportunities I wasn't always sure about and trying new things I didn't know a ton about, I learned to find success, and I found an incredible community within Knoxville and the university. Fast forward a few years, and with the unwavering support of my faculty mentors, my school, my college, and even some of our esteemed university leaders, I learned what I wanted and what I'm striving for moving forward in my career. The point of all this is, while I thought staying on the straight and narrow would lead me to the career that I wanted, I learned that it's actually the deviations, the stray paths, saying yes to new and unexpected opportunities that found their way into my inbox, and taking many, many leaps of faith. And I learned that academics isn't always, if not even often, that glamorous. I'm now proud to say that after 4 years of college, 3 years of getting 2 master's degrees, and 4 years in a PhD, I know a little bit more about what I want to do when I grow up. So, from my experiences and journeys, I say congratulations to my fellow graduates in class of 2024. It was a long road with sleepless nights, working more than just the 9 to 5 for service and devotion. Lost blood, sweat, and maybe more than a few tears, and one of the hardest things that we've all accomplished to date. I'm excited to share a room with such incredible people I've met during my time here on good old Rocky Top, and excited to see how we will all honor the legacy of this special place we can all call home sweet home. Congratulations again, class of 2024, and as always, go Vols.
Thank you, Jessica. This morning, our graduates will be introduced individually. Our students have worked hard to earn their degrees. I ask that you be patient as we recognize each graduate. Graduates, as soon as you cross the stage, will exit briefly for photos and then return to your seat. The candidates for the various master's degrees and the specialist in education degree will come forward to be recognized by their college dean and the chancellor.
Carolyn Grace Krause was pursuing the master's degree in plant sciences with a concentration in horticulture, but sadly passed away on January 15th, 2023, during her second year of studies. This morning, we posthumously recognize her accomplishments by awarding her a certificate in memoriam. The certificate is being presented by the Dean of the Herbert College of Agriculture, Dr. David White. Carolyn's parents and sister are with us today to receive their certificate.
The candidates from the College of Agriculture will be greeted by Dean Dean David White. I apologize. Carmen Rhiannon Black. Michaeli Shirlene Voss. Rashim Raydon Griffith. Jacob Tyler Lewis. Yassine Abdallah. Ashley Dawn Epstein. Winston Clark. Brett A. Wallace. Leanne Hopper. Hannah Elizabeth Williams. William Hentz Duncan. Wyatt A. Haley. Savant Zayam Ya. Harrison Taylor Clark. Kartik Varma. Samuel Kudzo Oke. Colleen Baker. Wheeler James McCulloch. Logan Kyle Hickerson. Joseph Samuel Sod. Mindy Giles Barton. Susanna Elizabeth Klaus. Maritza Martinez. Morgan Lee Savage. Tanya Henderson. Tanner Thornton. Carthul Tyler Newton. Nayeli Isela Diaz. Giselle M. Washington. Victoria May Runyan. Dakota M. Little. Jackson Hone Turner. The candidates from the College of Architecture and Design will be greeted by Dean Jason Young, Caitlin Nicole Axum, Samin Sabor Ru Mofred, the candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences will be greeted by Dean Robert Hindi, Jasmine Powell, Olivia Faith Riffey, Cameron Jade Rogers, Eric Merle Augustine Loya, Alex Chandler Tate, Olivia Snow Davis, Sarah Jordan Eaton Howell, Razan A. Naseb, Faith Marie Langford, Bethany Rose Carrez Kelch, Luke Abrams Bryce, Michael Grant Shurill, Jackson Thomas Gelamo, Francis Michael Black, Maria Jozinskas, Anna Elise Galler, Lydia Marie Simuline, Jeremy Daniel Long, Ian Gary, Mackenzie King, Emily Ann Brayton, Latvia Madyan, Aubrey Sophia Bader, Anna McDaniel, Julia Goncalves, Linda Schlitt, Savannah Edwards, Andrea May Stewart, Cody R. Centorius, Griffin William Allman, Lyndon Kenzie Eldridge, Saloni Pareka, Megan Lane Woofkill, Catherine Marie Wolar, Julia Butler, Alexis Page McDonald, Shlagai Bora, Jacob Tanner Perez, Jenna Kalinda Samano, Spencer Alexander Scott, Victor Joseph Gordano, the candidates from the Haslam College of Business will be greeted by Dean Steve L. Magnum, Ian Patrick Leonard, Jacob Matthew Harrison, Bridget Catherine McNally, Stephanie M. Bray, Gregory Bergen, Tyler Matthew Weber, Brady William Severe, Sinorine Atam Mambanwal, Tracy Tran, John Hamlet, Channel Scott Kershaw, Tian Asfaswen Kabedi, Kaya Simone Moore, Erin Lorraine Weeks, Heather Baker, Peyton Haston, Matthew Thomas Ramsey, Emma Chang, Lorraine Kong, Wenkata Derga Niwe Dita Guru Gu Belly, Shriya Poihat, Kahran Heitzkumar Patel, Rani Nicole Pemberton, Noel Bayer, Cameron Victor Mason, Samantha Renee Ford, Amanda L. Lapp, Laura Michelle Pate, Kelly Jones Fisher, Charles Raymond Hopsket, Amanda Lynn Metzler, Ashwin Jurakrishnan, Peter Yin, Craig Egdar, Brandon Ellison, Raul Abraham Soto, Al Ewing Batson III, The candidates from the College of Communication and Information will be graded by Dean Joseph Mazer. Caitlin Manus Augustine, Tracy Allison Lively, Brett Newman, Claire Ryland Pittman, Emily Grace Edge, Suzanne Blake Quattlebaum Hicks, Caitlin R. Taylor, Kaylee Dick, Eric Bradley Benson, Joelle Allen Maroney, Hannah Austin Honeycutt, Emma Moore Herbert, Joshua Shockey, Austin Michael Orr, Leslie Hermendez, Jean Carlos Mendoza, Roderick S. Burns, Layla Bilanevic, Tenaria Simone Orange, Kelsey Rummage, Zoe Green, Maggie Lauren Henderson, Ann Gusick, Caitlin Elizabeth Ward, Sydney Byerly, Stephanie Alexandra Jolly, Elizabeth Tice Bracken, Heather Marie Curtis, Madeline Bernard, Francesca Watkins, Alaska Pate Azevedo, Charles Osborne II, Whitney Yvonne McCaughlin, Rebecca Elizabeth Ivester Kirk, Elisa Gail Fenner, Lauren Rucker, Erin Marie Perry. Thomas Jordan Brown. Lisa Michelle Keithley. Christy Allison Keel Blackman. Kelsey Lane Whitefield. Kayla Nicole Bolton. Priya Shin. Justin Nicholas Williams. Gabriel Figaro. Brennan Galbraith Hullett. William Brady Brown. Juliana Rose Lamphere. Megan Elizabeth Walls. Madeline Brienne Howell. Pamela Michelle Henry. Daria Hazol Kalva. Madison Aaron Bowling. Desiree Marie Newcomb. Christina Liv Larson. Miles Sheldon Bowman. Julia Amber Knoll. Marie Elizabeth Main. Winston Roberts. Aaron Michael Young. Mackenzie Lee Spears. Melissa Espinels. Kristen Mikkel Kaldenberg. Lauren Mackenzie Hildreth. Lindsay Dallas Reese. Muslima Adelopo Yusuf. Jordan Bryant Simpson. Valerie Darlene Knight. The candidates from the College of Education, Health, and Human Sciences will be greeted by Dean Ellen McIntyre. Taylor Sexton. Kane Daniel Gilliand. Amari Snyder. Celeste Marie Hatfield. Julia Kate Pierce. Ray Fable Crabtree. Kirsten Renee Rainey. Peyton King. Nicholas Alexander Flowers. Keiko Ida. Donna Marie Zipfeld. Ashton R. Black. Jennifer Lamb. Maney Rogers. Jonathan Fella. Haley Duncan. Austin Sue Ann Pershing. Anna K. Chappelle. Kristen Elizabeth Fries Boberg. Ana Sesteta Hernandez. Amber Brianna Carmody. Sarah Elizabeth Gubin. Ansley Stevens. Brandy Danielle Phillips Summy. Jesselyn Markin. Catherine Mary Kupka. Denise Murowek. Joella Kengel Lloyd. Brian Stanfill. Casey Smith. Alexa Schnitka. Gavin James Woodward. Jaden Adele Lizakowski. Lyra Kensington Eden May Juskovics. Dylan Northrup. Megan Angel Varner. Amanda Louise Lawhorn. Brian Christopher Kopshever. Nicole Renee Brady. John Allen Stone. Faith Stallings. Emily Grace Proctor. Pedro Mendoza. Taylor Kellen Kof. Gabriel Valentin Judy. Jack Douglas Stem. Lauren Diane Shelby Hobbs. Cooper Russell Case. Molly Elizabeth Davis. Natalie Kate Ann Ford. Casey Dopp. Christina Michelle Parson. Carol Lindsay Harper. Monica Michelle Angelii. Diane Margot Lopez. Kaylee Rose Price. Abby Michelle Sweatman. Audrey Elizabeth Sieber. Gracie K. Allen. Hannah Catherine Engel. Sophia Louise Pierrich. Elizabeth Rose Fleming. Molly D. Millam. Hannah Grace Winkle. Isabel Ann Turner. Marie Jennings Seaman. Amanda Lynn Curran. Kensley Ann Hodges. Jillian Kate Webb. Leanna K. Williams. Piper Lee McGlowan. Courtney Morris. Eden Morose. Lorena Sol Tillich. Claudia Rowley Rubio. Teresa Olivares Ortega. Ornella Scaff. Xing Li. Snigdha Rampal. Isabella Nicole Valentine. David Scott Shaw. Kaylin Lee Brown. Allison Ruth Smith. Clement Ducos. Lindsay Duchini. Jada Renee Slager. Keaton Elizabeth Adams. Sarah Elizabeth Rose. Caitlin Ali Boraf. Adelina Christine Stark. Katie Benson Schaefer. Raquel Celine Boraf. Caroline Schaefer Petre. Kinsey Reese Heflin. Allison McMillan. Taylor Renee Baird. Claire Ann Johnson. Katie Key Schubert. Kobe Nicole Jenna. Bree Nicole Dignan. Sabrina Elizabeth Brightman. Sarah Marie Michelle. Mackenzie Nicole Sullivan. Allison Kate Kachamba. Sitlali Onate. Brianna Serenita Newman. Simeon Donavant Glover. Pamela Fly Alabin. Andrew Corey Ryder. Benjamin Jake Shope. Stevie Sampson. Kimberly Lynn Tharp. Tinion Deandra Reed. Holly Marie Mostyn. Mackenzie Scott. Peter Paul Oreo III. Louis Joseph Westner. Tiara Emmy Baker. Mary Elizabeth Walter. Trinity Lynn Hardy. Emily Taylor Moore. Amani Marie Smith. Savannah Rose Henry. Holly Paige Edwards. Sailor Renee Johnson. Macy Jade McCullum. Camille Kwasniak. Matthew Boone Simpson. Clinton Robert Brasher. Rachel Lynn Kyle. Madison Laura Beckman. Ariana Hayward. Caitlin Elizabeth Reeves. Carolina Valente. Melanie Lynn Matarazzo. Annabelle Giselle Arbeles. Kelsey Joe Sutherland. Pooja Patel. Nicholas Naji Nator. Jordan Claire Lyons. Dorian Rose Conti. Kelly Kathleen Darlin. Megan Leanne Ryan. Carly Kaufman. Brianna Wall. Tabitha Nicole Doss. Madison Lutkin. Micah Foster. Megan Elizabeth Lacido. Sarah Quinn Alaman. J. Max Hoppus. Robert Harrison Strobel. Bailey Noel Walton. Cheyenne Ashley Ryder. Flora May Ayers. Christine Elizabeth Maestri. Delaney Marie Gallagher. Abigail Catherine Cardinal. Claire Marie Donahue. Juliana Villalobos. Chantel Victoria Simpson. Tanquasia McKenzie. Jasmine Flack. Caitlin Bryn Martins. Morgan Elizabeth O'Brien. Anna Marie Cooksey. Jessica Okoksoa Boatema. Ansa. Imelda Gutierrez. Jordan Rebecca Shipley. Shamatani Shudhuri. Shanae Dawn Taylor. Talia Carlson. Kayvon Bonakvdar. Emily Kate Mayfield. Cade Evans. Jack Little. Isabella Herrera. Khadija Maria Maureen Ali Melvin. Micah Jade Chandler. Jake Lee. Symphony Renee Gillard. Tiffany Marie Chaperone. Mofasa Akhtar. The candidates from the Tickle College of Engineering will be greeted by Dean Matthew Mensch, Bernadette Evelyn Brzezinski, Junshen Chin, Mariah Wakefield, Omar Alonzo Reyes, Cindy Zhang, Ryan James Thurber, Chloe Olivia Browning, Bryn Davies, Tushar Krishna Punamachcha, Pranashandra Unadrud Gashadna, Mahim Mathur, Binoy Kurikaparambel Rivai, Anarban Roy, Manas Tawari, Will Thomas Dorsey, Andrew William Shin, James Thomas Fillers, Robert Lawrence Owens, William LaForge, Marcos Garcia, Calvin Lee Brown, Jonathan Shesing Ting, Cameron Gray Mijette, Chad Russell Yules, Christopher Juwan Lee, Kyung Min Han, Nay Ashkamar Patel, Nima Tayefe, Logan Garrett Scott, Logan McPhee, Kyle Michael McDowell, Alexander Amendio DePill, Cameron Mikesell, Mary Elizabeth Hosey, Oyin Perry Chalet Amali, Tyler Mark Corum, Eliza Payne Charles, Matthew Blaine Charles, Evan Wesley Walls, Vanida Vongsompan, Mitchell Pierce Vines, Jean-Hung Park, Fabrizio Gabriel Adorati, Elizabeth Grace Shad, Jared Cranmore, Joshua Travis McDaniel, Yosef Yassan Alamar, Alexander Hogg, Adam Joseph Cook, Jared Miller, Ashley Nicole Dawson. Elazar Antonio Gonzalez III. Sean Lynch. Ahmed Ali Al-Nazari. Paxton Charles Lifsey. Robert Lazarchik. Thomas Andrew Peplow. Levi Hayden Matthews. Davina Lankarika. Imani Pelton. Adam Ryan McDaniel. Jonathan Blake Irons. Lexi Guinevere Martin Velez. Brady McLaughlin. Evan Anderson. David Hua Huang. Joseph Stephen Maths. Raymond Philip Wymirski. Jack Frederick. Melanie Kara Mochadlo. Chase Austin Blackwell. Nicholas Roger Webb. Seth Early Gilliland. Patrick Joseph Leopold. Parker Collier. David Piat Minyardo. Ashton Chase Simpkins. Lainey Grace Corum. Griffin Reese Simmons. Hayden Gregory Rogers. Grace Whitehouse. Hunter Austin Davis. Samantha Grace Bell. Ashley Morgan Hightower. Ali Haydari Shirazi. Eric Scott Kirby. John Walter Oberman. William Dyer. Heath Colton Taylor. Nathan Joel Wilson. Junbad Son. Austin Alexander Allison. Matthew Allison. Devin Allen. Kishan Jitandra Patel. Riyan Nalshumar Patel. Travis Thompson Graham. Ayrton Yal Garcia Valdez. Sarah Marie Godfrey. Ansley Grace Lowry. Elizabeth Rose Boglin. Joshua Ryan Watson. Daniel Gonzel dos Santos. Samuel Foster Gallimore. Dre Andrew Gentry. Sarah Naz Quochuk. Lucas Barrett Berryman, Clay Allen Schubert, Robert G. Williams, the candidates from the College of Music will be greeted by Dr. Jeffrey Pappas, Huanke He, Xingqiao Wang, Haikwai Wang, Waverly Kate Watkins, Carolyn Blake Gahan, Hunter Wiles Wilburn, Melia Nicole White, Staley Renee Clark, Ian Holt Allward, Eli Garcia, Alex Boone, Whitney Claire Applewhite, Alexis Ann Kilgore, Matthew David Roten, Anderson Johnson III, Willie Whitemeyer, Elena Raquel Klein, Jessica Sue Parker, James Monroe Robinson, Joseph Andrew Willeniskis, Michael Ray, the candidates from the College of Social Work will be greeted by Dean Lori Messenger, Dominique Daniela Gonzalez, Tiffany Nicole Lyles, Carolyn Alicia Levitt, Elizabeth Ann Goodlin, Erin Gamble, Kaylee Sue Smith, Marie Ann Livingston, Noah Philip Sutherland, Rachel Marie Gordon, Anna Gordon, Kayandra and Teria Mercer, Tangeray Chantel Barreto, Alana Latanya Smith, the candidates from the Howard H. Baker Jr. School of Public Policy and Public Affairs will be greeted by Dr. Brianna Wanamaker, Carson Page Blake, Isabel Nicole Dusek, Zachary Taylor Marlowe, the candidates from Cooperative and Experimental Medicine will be greeted by Dr. Bob Deneveau, Layla Miyoshi Gray.
I don't know. It's time for the hooding of our doctoral candidates. During this portion of the ceremony, we will recognize individuals who have earned a Doctor of Education, Doctor of Nursing Practice, and Doctor of Philosophy degrees. The doctoral degree represents the highest level of academic achievement. Our doctoral candidates will come forward with faculty mentors. As the doctoral candidates are hooded, they will be recognized by the college dean and the chancellor as they exit the stage.
Our first group of candidates are from the Herbert College of Agriculture, and they will be greeted by David White. Dr. Autumn Alice McLaughlin, who will be hooded by Dr. Heather Kelly. Dr. Isha Powdle, who will be hooded by Dr. Avat Shakufa. Dr. D. Shua, hooded by Dr. Robert Trajano. Dr. Michelle Esther Adoy, hooded by Dr. Janita Hadziabdik and Dr. Robert Trajano. Dr. Julian Brendan Cosner, hooded by Dr. Jerome Grant. Dr. Ashley Brianna Cable, hooded by Dr. Emma Wilcox. Our next group of candidates are from the College of Arts and Sciences, who will be greeted by Dean Robert Hindy. Dr. Harley Joyce Campbell, hooded by Dr. Mary Zahn. Dr. Emily Johnson Roberts, hooded by Dr. Heather Hirschfeld. Dr. Andrew Stephen Heim, hooded by Dr. Gary Steinberg. Dr. Maggie Sullins, hooded by Dr. Nina Pfefferman. Dr. Jordan Lee Schaefer, hooded by Dr. Jan Scheimek. Dr. Austin Robert Schmier, hooded by Dr. Christine Netris. Dr. Namila Shandula Liyanage, hooded by Dr. Dustin Gilbert. Dr. Shaban Liu, hooded by Dr. Alfredo Galindo Uribari. Dr. Lauren Michelle Lyon, hooded by Dr. Monica Papesh. Dr. Hyun Seok Yoon, hooded by Dr. Paul Armsworth. Dr. Matthew Thomas Richardson, hooded by Dr. Deborah Baldwin. Dr. Lahai Alexander Massacoy Wicks, hooded by Dr. Deborah Baldwin. Dr. Amber Kent Johnson, hooded by Dr. Lisa King. Dr. Cecily Philippa Bernard, hooded by Dr. Louis Cano. Adam Curitan. Dr. Connor Isaac Reed, hooded by Dr. Ronald Kolofsky. Dr. Bright Amanqua, hooded by Dr. Mariano Labrador. Dr. Shushu Hui, hooded by Dr. Rajan Lamachan. Dr. Kazi Mehdi Hassan Riaz, hooded by Dr. George Siopsis. Dr. Shane N. Thompson, hooded by Dr. George Siopsis. Dr. Maria Joy Blake, hooded by Dr. Tessa Calhoun. Dr. Mia Tien Transord, hooded by Dr. Tessa Calhoun. Our next group of candidates from the Haslam College of Business will be greeted by Dean Steve L. Mangum, Dr. Yvonne Peter Anich, hooded by Dr. Scott Holliday, Dr. Ryan David Schwarzentruber, hooded by Dr. Charles Sims. Dr. Dipesh Bhattarai, hooded by Dean Steve Magnum. Our next group of candidates are from the College of Communication and Information, who will be greeted by Dean Joseph Mazer. Dr. Jessica Kristen Barfield, hooded by Dr. Susie Allard. Dr. Catherine Elizabeth Knight, hooded by Dr. Susie Allard. Dr. Kibam Yoon, hooded by Dr. Eric Haley. Dr. James Louis Carty III, hooded by Dr. Laura Miller. Our next group of candidates are from the College of Education, Health, and Human Sciences. They will be greeted by Dean Ellen McIntyre, Dr. Gretchen Nicole Cook, hooded by Dr. Leah Kane and Dr. Ashley Anderson. Dr. Cammie Jo Lawton, hooded by Dr. Susan Grenke. Dr. John Curtis Mooneyham, hooded by Dr. Joshua Rosenberg. Dr. Kenya I. Taylor, hooded by Dr. James Williams. Dr. Kathy Mae Jenkins. Receiving the hood by proxy is Dr. Josie Andrews, who will be hooded by Dr. Mitsunori Misawa. Dr. David Austin Willis, hooded by Dr. Mitsunori Misawa. Dr. Paula Lazarine, hooded by Dr. Jeff Cochran. Dr. Leah E. Coffey, hooded by Dr. Stephanie Benjamin. Dr. Jared B. Heising, hooded by Dr. Judson Laughter. Dr. Jessica M. Schwind, hooded by Dr. Judson Laughter. Dr. Catherine Elise Robinson Blake, hooded by Dr. Zoe Traga Philippakos. Dr. Kate Bentley, hooded by Dr. Amy Brummel. Dr. Valerie M. Schmidt-Gardner, hooded by Dr. Amy Brommel. Dr. Jessica Catherine Keeble-Summers, hooded by Dr. James Coda. Dr. Dylan T. Edmondson, hooded by Dr. Joshua Kenna. Dr. Gina Murphy-Parton, hooded by Dr. Sonia Hayes. Dr. Brandy Phillips Arnold, hooded by Dr. Sonia Hayes. Dr. Sherry Ann Walker, hooded by Dr. Sonia Hayes. Dr. Virginia Rigel Bowles, hooded by Dr. Rachel White. Dr. Allison Amy Gauld, hooded by Dr. Mary Lynn Darrington. Dr. Leighton Ray Upton, hooded by Dr. Mary Lynn Darrington. Dr. Stephen Jermaine Mitchell, hooded by Dr. Mary Lynn Darrington. Dr. Sheila Kenyette Morris, hooded by Dr. Mary Lynn Darrington. Dr. Kimberly Renee Hill, hooded by Dr. Karen Boyd. Dr. Rachel Elaine Williams, hooded by Dr. Jedediah Blanton. Dr. Douglas Adam Gregory, hooded by Dr. Eugene Fitzhugh. Our next candidates are from the Tickle College of Engineering, who will be greeted by Dean Matthew Mensch. Dr. Mairead Eileen Montague, hooded by Dr. Jason Hayward. Dr. Davood Matthew Raji, hooded by Dr. Jason Hayward. Dr. Victoria Christine Rexhausen, hooded by Dr. John Hathaway. Dr. Maria Maboob, hooded by Dr. Gregory Peterson. Dr. Samana Moravati, hooded by Dr. Sadiq Juwadi. I think that's it. Oh. And also Dr. Kevin Tomsovic. Dr. Moshtaba Desvarai, hooded by Dr. Kevin Tomsovic and Dr. Sadiq Juwadi. Dr. Jiming Liu, hooded by Dean Matthew Mensch. Dr. Fengpei Yuan, hooded by Dr. Matthew Mensch. Dr. Lei Ding, hooded by Dr. Fengwan Zhang. Dr. Liwen Zhang, hooded by Dr. Fengwan Zhang. Dr. Mahmoud Abdullah Al Hassan, hooded by Dr. Senghua Shin. Dr. Yi Li, hooded by Dr. Terry Hazen. Dr. Kathleen Fitzgerald Walker, hooded by Dr. Terry Hazen. Dr. Charles Peter Rizzo, hooded by Dr. James Plank. Dr. Manu Rator, hooded by Dr. Garrett Stephen Rose. Dr. Adam Croft, hooded by Dr. Trevor Moeller. Dr. Lauren Ansley Smith, hooded by Dr. Michael LaCour. Dr. Shihao Jiang, hooded by Dr. Yilu Liu. Dr. Shuji Zhang, hooded by Dr. Yilu Liu. Dr. Tianwei Shaya, hooded by Dr. Kai Sun. Dr. Min Xiong, hooded by Dr. Kai Sun. Dr. Max Keith Mortensen, Jr., hooded by Dr. Cirrus Lorson. Dr. Aaron William Cornelius, hooded by Dr. Tony Schmitz. Dr. Ross William Zamorowski, hooded by Dr. Tony Schmitz. Dr. Helia Zandi, hooded by Dr. Fran Lee. Dr. Masheed Mukhtanarjad, hooded by Dr. Matthew Mensch. Dr. Joshua J. Mirage, hooded by Dr. Andy Sarles. Dr. Ann Catherine Turner, hooded by Dr. Dayakar Panamandu. Dr. Shin Wong, hooded by Dr. Catherine Page. Dr. Reese Chastain Emery, hooded by Dr. Philip Rack. Dr. Aradana Soni, hooded by Dr. James Ostrowski. Our candidates from the College of Nursing will be greeted by Dean Victoria P. Niederhauser. Dr. Savannah Eve Smallwood Corcoran, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Pallavi Rao, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Kimberly Michaela Carter Maradiaga, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Sarah Ellen Gray, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Connor James Cochran, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Adora Jennifer Ade, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Johnny E. Bauer, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Madeline Merrill Hanford, hooded by Dr. Jeremy Mills. Dr. Godsi Raju, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Patrick. Dr. Christy Cox, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Patrick. Dr. Nicole Odom, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Patrick. Dr. Elisa Renee Garcia, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Patrick. Dr. Savannah Craig, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Patrick. Dr. Caitlin Burrell, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Patrick. Dr. Karen Marie Carver, hooded by Dr. Catherine Morgan and Dr. Christina Barroso. Dr. Jean Adam Bernier, hooded by Dr. Christina Barroso and Dr. Jen Miller. Dr. Carrie Elaine Qualls, hooded by Dr. Sandra Thomas. Dr. Jennifer Lauren Wilson, hooded by Dr. Sandra Thomas. Dr. Lisa Robinson Jason, hooded by Dr. Catherine Noonan. Dr. Elizabeth Wallace Sowell, hooded by Dr. Catherine Noonan. Dr. Stephanie McCain, hooded by Dr. Julie Bonham. Dr. Emily Almond, hooded by Dr. Julie Bonham. Dr. Michael Ellis, hooded by Dr. Julie Bonham. Dr. Jed Newport, hooded by Dr. Julie Bonham. Dr. Benjamin Sweeney, hooded by Dr. Julie Bonham. Dr. Anna Wong, hooded by Dr. James Alberding. Dr. Laura Janet Savage, hooded by Dr. James Alberding. Dr. James Alejandro Conde, hooded by Dr. James Alberding. Dr. Aliyu Jawara, hooded by Dr. James Alberding. Dr. Alex Sargishian, hooded by Dr. Laura Beebe. Dr. April Dawn Bryant, hooded by Dr. Amy Alspaw. Dr. Hannah Fructal Hall, hooded by Dr. Allison Neal. Dr. James A. Hutchinson IV, hooded by Dr. Allison Neal. Dr. Elizabeth M. Carpenter, hooded by Dr. Jewel Gibson. Dr. Caitlin Elena Welch, hooded by Dr. Jewel Gibson. Dr. Elliot Jennings Lochran, hooded by Dr. Jewel Gibson. Dr. Madison Kane Bears, hooded by Dr. Tammy Wyatt. Dr. Meredith Adele Nolan, hooded by Dr. Robin Harris. Dr. David Brian Jones, hooded by Dr. Robin Harris. Dr. Morgan Lee Taylor, hooded by Dr. Marion Malone. Dr. Catherine Nicholson, hooded by Dr. Marion Malone. Dr. Mackenzie Danielle Browning, hooded by Dr. Melissa Hassick. Dr. Gracie Clayton Beasley, hooded by Dr. Melissa Hassick. Dr. Savannah Joe Beasley, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. James Austin Burkhart, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. Kara Rachel Collier, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. Morgan Ray Donnell, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. Brandy Valyn Haga, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. Annalise Nita Caffrey, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. Suzanne Carr Babcock, hooded by Karen Lassiter. Dr. Mary Catherine Hyatt, hooded by Dr. Karen Lassiter. Dr. Natalie Nicole Ellis, hooded by Dr. Chris Brown. Dr. Sarah May Borges, hooded by Dr. Tracy Brewer. Dr. Emily Caroline Wegenka, hooded by Dr. Tracy Brewer. Dr. Mary Catherine Virginia Natour, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Smith. Dr. Marie Hanson Davis, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Smith. Dr. Mary Aston Darden, hooded by Dr. Jennifer Smith. The candidates from Comparative and Experimental Medicine will be greeted by Dean Dixie Thompson. Dr. Samantha Gammon-Kushke, hooded by Dr. Deborah Miller. Dr. Allison Nicole Renwick, hooded by Dr. Brian Whitlock. Our next candidates are from the Bredesen Center for Interdisciplinary Research and Graduate Education, who will be greeted by Dr. Brenvois. Dr. Ricardo Andres Orchidee Camacho, hooded by Dr. Albrecht von Arnhem and Dr. Michael Gilchrist. Dr. Chris Gordon Gabarel, hooded by Dr. Patrick Biddix. Dr. Jared Alexander Baxter, hooded by Dr. Daniel Costanet. Dr. Mohammed Intamam Al-Haq, hooded by Dr. Dabangshu Mukherjee. Dr. Kirtan Mahashbey Davda, hooded by Dr. Zhili Zhang.
As we prepare to leave this morning, I want to offer once again my sincere congratulations to our graduates. Let's give everyone one more round of applause. Graduates, take time to reflect on your accomplishments and celebrate your success. Although you may see this ceremony as an end to your academic journey, it's also a beginning. You leave here today with proof that you are committed to achieve at a high level. You enter the next phase of your life with new skills and knowledge that will help you find success in the years ahead. Graduates, remember the many lessons learned on a hallowed hill in Tennessee. You will always be a part of the Tennessee family. As we conclude this morning, I'd like to remind you that all graduates and guests are asked to exit up to the concourse level of the arena. No guest will be allowed on the arena floor. Graduates and guests, I wish you well, and I thank you for being with us today. And now it is my pleasure to present to you Chancellor Dondi Plowman, who will confer the degrees. Chancellor Plowman, these scholars have met all of the requirements for the various doctoral, master's, and specialist in education degrees.
Graduates, today we celebrate not only the diploma that you're receiving, but the education that it represents, the knowledge you've gained, the experiences that shaped you while you were here, and the relationships that have guided you over the last few years. You all are a very special group because for many of you, you pursued this degree in the middle of a pandemic or on the edges of a pandemic. But you know, you kept an open mind and you had an unwavering belief in yourself. You trusted that you were prepared and you were ready for this moment, both here on campus and at home. You did it. So you leave Rocky Top as graduates, ready for whatever is next in your journey. Degree candidates, will you please stand? Your presence here today demonstrates that you've done the work, all of the work, completed the requirements, all of the requirements for your degrees. So, on behalf of the state of Tennessee and the University of Tennessee Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degrees for which you've been recommended. Congratulations, graduates. You may have a seat. We hope that you'll always remember this moment. It's a moment to celebrate yourself, your faculty members who've guided you, to celebrate all that you've accomplished and all of the people who've helped you along the way. We will close our ceremony, as is always our tradition, by singing the Alma Mater together. After the singing of the Alma Mater, the stage party will recess and our ceremony will be officially concluded. Congratulations again to everyone here today, and thank you for celebrating with us, and go Vols. Will you please stand for the alma mater?